So good morning. It is about 10 to 6 on a Saturday morning, and as you can see, it's dead, absolutely dead. There's a few cars parked along the road, and as you can probably hear, it's really windy, so I'm gonna sit down. There's this wee old man over here, but he was down here when I got here, so we'll give him a pass for today. There's a woman just there, but she's kind of disappeared from view, so I'm just going to sit here today and kind of shelter a little bit from the wind so that you can kind of hear what's going on, and you can see everything there is to see. But like you saw, the place is dead. There's one soul. I was going to say not a soul, but there's one soul around. So we'll see what happens in the next 15 minutes. But I planned on kind of coming down, well, going for a walk a bit later today because I was tired, and plus I think sometimes it's good for me to immerse myself in the things that are happening rather than just going out when it's quiet, you know, because yeah, it's always a kind of shock to the system when I do have to go anywhere, like normal working hours, if you like, you know, into shops or whatever. And it's perfect opportunity for people to say things then, isn't it? And it's, you know, I think if I kind of spend a bit more time in those situations, then it's probably beneficial in the long run. You acclimatise yourself to it. It's probably not the right word, but yes, I should do that. So I was planning on doing that this morning, but I get woken up at, well, no, that's a lie. I was awake, but I was just kind of chilling and doing anything. I do nothing really, and then at 5:30, well, just before 5:30, someone else in the house decided to start playing the song Lady in Red really, really loud, which I found, I mean, like I say, you have to laugh, don't you, but it's, it's difficult sometimes, to laugh, but if you kind of, I kind of force myself, I grit my teeth and just force myself to laugh, so I mean, that's excluding the fact that this same person arrived back in the early hours with two men in tow, like making as much noise as they possibly could. And then, I don't know, I think either one of them fell down the stairs or something fell down the stairs, something really loud and heavy anyway, so I was kind of hoping it was one of them, that they might fucking break their necks, but it doesn't seem. No such luck this morning, unless they're playing Lady in Red as like a kind of, pre-funeral song or something, I don't know. But I think they're all alive and well, which is, well, I'm sure their families would say fortunately, but yeah, it didn't, the drunkenness and the coming in at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning didn't stop the ritualistic banging at 4, so I don't know, I think it's maybe, I got up today and the whole house absolutely stinks of booze, and the kitchen, I went in the kitchen to make a drink, and the kitchen absolutely reeks of booze and all throughout the house, and it's, I don't know, it makes me think, like I said, alcohol being a part of my life, that it's that's maybe a kind of planned thing, but I mean, the smell of stale booze really does nothing to want to make me turn back to alcohol in any way. It does the complete opposite. I mean, it's disgusting. I feel sorry for anyone that was around me, like, having to smell it. I mean, I feel sorry for them anyway, just with the way I was acting, but yeah, having to be in an environment that smells like that, it's just horrendous. I can see it now. You don't at the moment when you're in it, but yeah, I definitely see it now. So yeah, that was the adventure. So I'm pretty tired, and I've not even had a shower or anything. I usually get up and shower before I go out anywhere, but I wanted to get out. Once they started playing that song, I just needed to leave the house, really. Sometimes excuse me, sometimes you just need to take yourself out of the situation. It's the same with some of the conversations that they'll have, and they'll have them really, really loud, so that just to make sure you can overhear. I guarantee that these people don't speak that fucking loud normally. It's no possibility. So I mean, I know this sounds really childish and everything, but I'll sometimes, if I'm in my own room and I can hear them, they'll stand right just so I can hear, very, very near my door, so that it's on purpose that I have to overhear this shit. So I'll sometimes, if I can't get hold of my earplugs fast enough, I'll just take my fingers and kind of put my fingers in my ear like a child and start kind of like quietly humming to myself to block out any noise. And I can't hear what they're saying, obviously. I'm blocking out the sound, but I do hear the conversation get louder as I start to do that. So I always find that quite amusing, and I'm sure if they're watching me through the cameras, they find that quite amusing as well. But there are times when you just can't escape it, you can't get away from it, like this morning with the music. I had my headphones in and I could still hear it, so I thought instead of getting kind of pissed off about it, I'll just kind of take myself away out and give myself kind of half an hour's respite from the shit. But there are times when you can't get away from the conversations either, and pardon me, I had one of those yesterday, I think it was. It might have been the day before, where I went and sat out the back for a cigarette, and one of these, made sure that they came in the kitchen at the back of me, and they just happened to receive a phone call, and in this phone call, she repeated what the person said about this amount of money that she owed, and it was £33. Is that right? £33? Now, I don't know if you've read anything about the Freemasons, but the 33rd and the 33 is quite significant in the Freemasons, and I've got a book in my room on the Freemasons, so I don't know. Read into that what you will. It's people may be watching it and thinking, you're reading far too much into things, but there are some things that I could tell you that I purposely don't, because I mean, they would just sound fucking loony, and I know as they're happening to me that even to be able to explain that to someone, it would just sound nuts. So for self-preservation, I suppose, I just don't, because I realise it would how it would look and how it would sound, and I want to avoid doing that. So it's kind of telling people this stuff that probably to those who aren't in this situation might sound a little bit paranoid, if you like, but I know that they definitely happen to other people, whereas there's other things that are a little bit outside the box that I can't explain, that it would just sound a bit crazy. There's also been more of the product placement going on, and I'll kind of go into that. So they like to use certain they like to use certain words with me, but I'm not going to go into there. But they also like to use acronyms of things. So for example, this is some of the favourites. So there's CS, or they can flip it. I mean, it's CS or SC. There's also FB or BF, but that can be, FP or FD, or, change the B round into all different ways. There is BT or TB. There is SW or WS, or also MS or SM. There is others, but I just can't think of them just now. Oh, PC or CP or BC or DC. It's, again, change the P round. It can make other letters depending on what way you point it. So I go into the kitchen, like I said this morning, to make myself a coffee, and there's a little box in there, and it says, please help yourself. If anyone gets anything that they don't kind of need, or they don't use food-wise, and they put it in this box, tins or whatever, or things that they've maybe bought and they don't like, then they go in this box. And I saw this jar in the box yesterday, but I could only see the lid of it, and I didn't investigate, because I'm not interested. I'm not interested in their fucking food that they leave about. I don't want to eat it. I wouldn't eat anything that these fuckers had touched. So I go in there this morning anyway, and this jar that had been in the box has just been randomly left out on the side. It's not been opened or anything. It's it's untouched. It's just obviously I didn't investigate it like I was meant to, and it's a jar of chili pesto. So bear those acronyms in mind that I told you. Also sitting on the side just randomly is a jar of baby food. I mean, no one in that house has a baby. There's no babies living there. It's all adults. So just a random jar of baby food, like as you do, and 2 bananas. So TB is. And you may think, oh come on, that's crazy. You're reading too much into that. But I've been in there before, and when another person was staying there, and she was well into this shit. She loved doing shit to annoy me. Maybe go into some of the things that she done. Well, actually, I'll tell you one now. There's a little couch, and I sometimes sit on it and watch the telly. And I've been sitting there for a few mornings in a row. Like I say, they fucking wake me up really early, and then they'll kind of continue making banging noises. So just to get out of my room, I'd kind of go in and watch this telly in another room. And after I'd done this a few mornings in a row, I came out one morning and I sat down and I felt this little pain in my arm. And I looked down and there was a needle or a pin had been threaded into one of the cushions that are on this couch, And I kind of thought, oh fucking, I think it was this person who's no longer there now, but yeah, just this pin just randomly fucking is pointing out of this, and it was being put in from you had to undo the zip to get this thing in, put it in. But yeah, I thought that was quite funny. I took it out and then I pinned it onto, there's a little notice board there, or a magnetic board, a whiteboard. So I pinned it onto the whiteboard with a little fucking smiley face pointing at it, and no one acknowledged it or said a thing, but she fucking knew. But when she was there, I would come out and one morning I came through and there was a single passion fruit, passion fruit. Just remember those acronyms. And then another day, this is even more fucking random. I mean, you could say, okay, fair enough to the passion fruit. Everyone's got their own cupboard and space. I certainly wouldn't leave food lying about, but, it's done on purpose. And, you can think what you like and, think I'm reading too much into things or whatever. But, yeah, I'm telling you, this shit happens far too often for it to be anything other than meant. But another day, even more fucking randomly, there was like a child's football. A child's football just randomly in the kitchen. I asked her about it. I said, is that your football? And she started to start with, she denied it. She went, no. And I said, well, where did it appear from? Are you sure it's not yours? And she went, oh, yes, my cousin gave it to me because she didn't want it anymore. This is like a 20-something-year-old woman, and her cousin gave her a fucking child's football to just randomly leave in the kitchen. I mean, come on now. It doesn't even make fucking sense, does it? It's fucking bizarre. These cunts can't even come up with a legitimate excuse as to why they're doing it, but she's like the fucking devil behind a smile, She was constantly fucking smiling and singing away like, I'm just the happiest, sweetest, most person and nicest person in the world, and she's like a little fucking devil behind it. Well, that's the ones that you kind of need to be aware of, that are this fucking Diddy's just decided to stand there. But that's the ones that you need to kind of be aware of, they're like fucking little smiling assassins. I don't buy into that shit as someone like that's just giggly. She was all giggly, hey, everything's so fucking great and perfect all the time. And then behind it, she's placing pins and cushions and leaving random fucking FBs, footballs around the place. Little silly little bitch. Anyway, let's hope they all get their comeuppance at some point. Yeah, some point soon would be good, some point soon, if you're listening up there. Some point soon, anytime, Haste, have some haste about you. But anyway, I'll leave that there. So anyway, you take care and God bless and all that, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.